The homeschooling community has filed a petition at the High Court seeking an interpretation of the Basic Education Act.
In the last 2 years, 5 parents have been arrested for failing to enroll their children in formal schools, instead educating them at home. NTV's education reporter Sharon Baranga spoke to a homeschooling proponent to understand how it works.
The imprinting press, those dots are a lot
Cassandra Daggett
smaller,
is taking her
right?
4 sons through a reading class at the comfort of their home.
Democritus showed us.
Her children now know the routine, which involves having breakfast by 7 a.m. before studying commences.
If it's a chilly morning, we wrap up in a blanket to make it nice and cozy and loving, and that's when we start our morning time. That's when we do the things that all the children do. So that's when we do our memory work. We chose to start homeschooling because I wanted to be able to give each of my children an education that was focused on them, that was tailored specifically to them. So for example, one of my children really struggles to read, actually has a learning disability. And so being able to nurture that and encourage that while remediating her in reading, she's now actually reading above her grade level.
None of her 6 children have been enrolled in a formal school. She is their full-time teacher.
I think the misconception is often that homeschoolers are opposed to traditional schools. And I think the opposite is actually true in most cases. And it is that as homeschoolers, we value education. And we all think that education is so important to a community. And so traditional schools are a vital part of that. They're so important. And homeschooling isn't the right choice for everyone.
Recent arrests of some parents homeschooling their children has left the community feeling threatened.
We just believe they come from a single common ancestor.
On February 18th, Silas Were was arrested together with his children in Malava, Kakamega County. Were was charged with negligence because his children were not attending school. The community now wants homeschooling legalized as a viable alternative form of education.
When the Constitution of Kenya 2010 was promulgated, basic education was recognized as mandatory and it became necessary for legislation to safeguard it. This meant that every parent should ensure their child attends school regularly.
The parents say Section 4 of the Basic Education Act offers guidelines of what basic education entails and should be recognized along with Section 31(3), which provides that a parent or guardian shall have the right to participate in the character development of his or her child.
The law enforcement authorities are looking at homeschooling through a very rigid lens, and the law is not very elaborate in terms of where homeschooling lies. And so we are seeking an opportunity to have that clarified. The homeschooling petition is not a move against the government. It's actually an effort to have the education sector include homeschooling as one of the legitimate methods.
The homeschooling petition was filed on 17th June and certified as urgent. It was then mentioned on 25th June when the respondents requested for 21 days to file their response and submissions.
That's why we have this.
The next hearing will be in September, and like many parents who school their children at home, Cassandra is hopeful that the court's decision will be in their favor.
And pick a page to.
Sharon Baranga, NTV.